But I think there's a danger in, like, I don't know, it's like in the beginning, I think, and again, this is, you're talking to someone who's like 20 years past the beginning of, like, where I actually flipped out and all that, but I don't think it ever really goes away. I think you get better at living as a different person, Yeah. Like I'd love to say that, like it never got any easier. You know what I mean? Like it gets easier, but it doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. It's
kind of learn to cope.
Yeah, because I'm not on medication or anything, and I mean, I don't know that. Like, I don't know. I can, like, for me, the whole losing my mind thing was so much harder than the cancer thing, and for the whole stigma around it and just the acceptance of it in terms of how society looks at you, and you like to pretend that you're bulletproof and that nobody's opinion matters, but it fucking matters, man. That's why there's marketing. That's why people sell you shit. That's why it matters. I think it's normal to want to be loved. I think it's normal to want to be accepted. We're tribal people. We're pack animals. I think the older I get, I look to nature more than anything to see kind of how things should be, because nature doesn't lie. Nature doesn't give a shit about being cool or having friends or, it's. I used to work on a farm, and I'd watch these horses, and you turn the horses out and you watch how they behave and stuff, and we're no different. We're pack animals, and horses get together when they're scared, and
yeah.
We do too, but for whatever reason, human beings, we like to kind of try and handle shit on our own, and it's counterintuitive. But at the same time, I think there's some oversharing going on too, I think sometimes it's like we all want to be heard so bad that we're all yelling and nobody's hearing anybody, And it's like sometimes it's a competition to see how broken people are, like who's the most fucked up or who's the most broken, and maybe that's like a 20s thing, I don't know. But the older you get, the more I just find them. I have a lot of respect for people that kind of just soldier on, or you know what I mean. They find a way to just live their life, and you'd never know there was anything ever that happened to them.
Yeah.
Like when I worked at that building in Sydney, and I was doing the overnight back shift security. Some of the stories I heard from people, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe these fucking people, man. Like what they've been through, and they're like super happy. And it always came down to you can control what you can control, but there's a lot you can't. And so, all you have is right now, and it's cliche to the max, but what are you going to do, Like, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to let it ruin your life? Or are you going to just try and fucking put a smile on your face, even if it's not real, and just put one foot in front of the other and keep going? And maybe tomorrow will be better.
Do you think a smile, if it's fake, is better than a frown if it's real?
Depends on the situation. Depends on the context. You know what I mean? I think it absolutely depends on the situation and on the context. Because I think that the act of faking it till you make it for yourself is very healthy. As long as you're in the process of admitting that there's something that's not quite right, and you want to get better, or you see the whole point about getting better. Like it's just, again, what is better, Because there's a lot of gifts in that shit too, and we it's not the myth of the tragic artist or whatever, but a lot of good music and art and books and film came from really fucked up people, man. And there's value in that. But do I want to be a fucked up person to create great art? No. Like, that's a hard way to live, But would I trade in, like, so much good has come from it that I'm grateful for the experience, And I think the only difference between me and other people is I did something with it, and put myself out there, as a musician, and doing, like, just talking about it and making it, Like, I did a show, I did an interview on CBC once with Alan Neal about we were doing this mental health show at the NAC, and he'd asked me to come in and talk as was one of the performers before, and I mean I was just telling my story about going crazy, and the only thing that kept me from blowing my head off was getting diagnosed with cancer and all this shit, and he said why, and I said, well, it's because it was acceptable to die as a cancer patient. It's totally acceptable. He fought the good fight, man. He fucking, you know what I mean? And all your friends. I mean, I remember my friends going, oh, that's what's wrong with you. Like the cancer somehow caused it. But I think, honest to God, I think the mental illness, crazy shit caused the fucking tumors, man. I really believe that. But, man, you're crazy if that's what you believe. No, man, the mind is powerful. Your spirit's powerful. But anyways, I did this interview, and I was just candid and frank like I always am, and had a good time doing it. And I went and played the show, and this guy came up to me at intermission, and he was like in his 50s, and he'd had some pretty horrible shit happen to him, and he was basically homebound, and that was the first time he'd been out of his house in a long time, because he heard me talking on the radio, and he wanted to meet me, and he wanted to shake my hand, and he was in tears. It was fucking amazing, man. It was powerful. So there's one person who's maybe going to help another person, who's maybe going to, maybe that helped him in a bigger way. Or maybe he went home and fucking killed himself. I don't know. Yeah. But the point is that I think that if you're honest about it, and you're not afraid to sort of put it out there, but is it going to be received in the right way? Or is it going to be, you know what I mean?
Do you worry about that?
Absolutely. Like when I wrote a book, holy fuck, dude, of course. You put that out there, and it's like, you worry about how your own friends and family are going to take it, and it's embarrassing on a certain level, like it's embarrassing. You're showing everybody your balls. You're showing everyone your tiny shriveled penis at the pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your most vulnerable, worst part of you. Not that I'm actually talking about my penis, but.
Well, there's a couple parts in the book.
I do talk about my penis quite a bit in that book. I make fun of my penis a lot. But again, that's just like, fuck. Like, I think that's what you're supposed to do. That's what I do. I cope with shit. I'm half French-Canadian, half Maritimer. Like, we're all about make jokes. Like, make jokes. About this serious shit, make jokes, make fun of it. Because it kind of takes the power away from it when you make fun and you joke and you laugh and you make it light.
When you're able to joke about something, there's a certain level of acceptance there, right?
Yeah, because you can't joke about it when it's like when you're not okay with it. Because you won't sell it. Like as a comedian or as a funny person, you can't sell it when it's not real. We all know it. Whether it's a song, or like a performance, if somebody's not being authentic or really comfortable with their material, it's not fun to watch. It's fake. It's phoned in. It's not real, and it's not fun. Nobody enjoys it. But if you're comfy with it, like, you can have a lot of fun with it, man. And